right, Rashad Milligan. I'm here with SwaVay. We've been waiting for this interview for a few months now. SwaVay, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing, bro?
All right, I'm doing amazing. First, for the people who don't know, the way that I met this gentleman, this young man, I met this man at a Bible study. So that just shows you, we applaud this man, you know what I'm saying, living a Christ-centered life. He's not just saying it. He's not just tweeting it for retweets. He's not just saying it in a song, when's the last time you've been to church and paid attention? He's not just saying it just for the lyrics and for the clout or whatever. He's really out here living this life, so I really appreciate that, man. About how big of a role does your faith play in just all your life and stuff?
I think it plays like a really big part. It allows me to do certain things. It, allows me to do, a lot of things that I think would, benefit me and like just the thoughts of my fans and the people that actually listen to me. I like to provoke thought. And, as far as religion and hip hop, when it comes to religion, a lot of the shit is blasphemous. So I try to at least give a more positive light on religion, you know what I'm saying, and just talk about how I feel about it, you know what I'm saying. And it's a big role. I grew up in church. My mom, like, she only played gospel music growing up. And I think a lot of that has to do with, why I'm so into music and into Christ. So it plays a really big part. I ain't gonna lie.
Right. Cool. So when did you start music? Like, when was the beginning and all that for you?
I started making music. Really, I was drumming for a very, very long time. And then my mom bought me my first program. I think I was like 10. And then from there, I was just making a lot of beats. And then I met Sahad or Hadi. And then we started rapping. It was maybe like around like 13. And then ever since then, it was just on go. Ever since he said we should be rap stars, I was like, let's do it, man. So I think ever since like I was like 13.
Right. And when was the first moment where you felt like, okay, it's finally started. I'm starting to see, all the hard work pay off?
I think every day, man. Every day I see something new that's just like inspiring me to keep going, because there's been a lot of times where I felt like giving up. But at the same time, there's a lot of times where I see, a lot of stuff that inspires me to keep going. And, I'm shocked even when I go out, people know who I am, or people know the lyrics to my songs, or people come out to the shows. So I think every time I get to do something with my music, I see that. So I'm very thankful for that too, man. I ain't gonna lie.
What was the one time that you were, recognized in public and it kind of just like, oh, snap, like shocked you really?
Well, to be honest, I can't really pinpoint one moment. I mean, just because when I was younger, I was very big on like, Facebook and the Tumblrs and the Twitters and all that. So I would always see people, people would always be like, oh, you that dude from Facebook, or you the dude from Instagram. Now they just know me for something else. So I can't really pinpoint one moment, but, it does happen quite frequently. It's still funny to me that, people really know who I am based off the stuff I make in my room, in my own studio. So it's crazy though. I ain't gonna lie.
Right. And when did, speaking of your own studio, when did you start mixing your own tracks and all that good stuff?
I would say maybe around I was 14. I just got tired of waiting on people, man. I just got tired of people having what I felt like the advantage over me. You know what I'm saying? And I got tired of that, and I was like, man, you know what? Me and Sahab, we're gonna figure this thing out, and we're just gonna get everything that we need to go do it. And from there, he never really learned how to mix, but I took it upon myself to learn how to mix, master my own stuff. So to this day, everything that comes out is from me, like directly from my computer, my studio, and straight from Dolo. You know what I'm saying? So, but it started, I think around the same time I was like beginning to take rap serious, to be honest.
And like, how long did it take for you all to start saving up that money to buy all of that equipment?
Not too long, man. We was putting all our money in from the get go. You know what I'm saying? And especially having idols like Nipsey and Dom and Jay-Z and all these people who kind of like showed us how to put all their money in and to get what they wanted. And whether we was getting the money from the bad or the good, we was putting all our money into it because the music was the most important thing to us. And still to this day, it's like that. So it wasn't that long. It didn't take that long for us to get right, man.
Right, and speaking of those guys, Nipsey and Jay, and I know before, we actually recorded this interview, we were kind of talking about black-owned business owners and black entrepreneurs. Why do you think it's so important to, empower and keep the power within the black community?
Because, man, black people, we don't own nothing, especially when it comes to this music, man. It's like black people, we like to feel like, as soon as we get like our first big check, or to keep it a buck, as soon as we feel like we get $1 million, we like, okay, we cool with that. But it's more money out there. I look at people like Puff and Hove and all these other people, and they own their stuff, especially with Nip, it's not just about the money, it's about the ownership, and I think that's something that modern day hip hop has forgotten about. Back in the 90s, everything we were damn near preaching, black ownership. And that's what I'm trying to do now. Like, I own my own label, I own my own artist, and that's how it's gonna stay for right now. Like right now, like as of recently, I finally came to the idea that I don't really want to sign to no label right now. I kind of just want to build up my own and show, especially people from where I'm from and the people who look like me, that you can make more than $1 million, and you can actually own something, and you can pass it down and have this going for generations on generations on generations, man. So black ownership is very important, and that's how we're gonna stay over here at Dolo Records, and especially for myself.
Right, and speaking of Nip and his entrepreneurship, did you buy the Nipsey $100 mixtape?
Man, I didn't buy the $100 mixtape, man, but I think I was maybe like 16, 17 when that tape come out. So back then I was just doing anything I could to get some money. So I wasn't able to buy it. But I did go to Amoeba Records. I think it was the last time I was in LA, and did cop Crenshaw. I don't think it was $100, but I did end up getting it. But I support the whole Crenshaw brand, man. I got some Crenshaw shirts, in the mail right now. I ordered it as soon as he opened up the new Marathon store. So yeah, I support Nip and everything he do.
Will you buy Lonzo Ball's Big Baller Brand shoes?
Oh yeah, man. People been talking down on Lonzo, man, and the family, man. But I love it, man. LeVar is definitely teaching his kids something that's worth a whole lot more than money. And me and my mans, we've been talking about getting the Triple B shirts for a long time, man. I don't know about the shoes, but we gonna definitely support. Because I love that. I love what they're doing, man. It's inspiring, and it's gonna hopefully give a template to other basketball players to do what they got to do and own something too.
And just like that, we have transitioned to a whole nother place. So we're talking about LeVar Ball, Big Baller Brand, and all that good stuff. What is the importance of the Big Baller Brand, or entrepreneurship in sports?
Man, like I said, man, it's black owned, man, and I hate when I see people hate on him. Because he's teaching his kids, something way more important than just getting money. Like, he's taking a different template, a black owned template, and he's applying it to his kids' careers, and he's really showing them how to do it, and they look like they're having a good time, man. So I don't know why anybody wouldn't want to support that, man. I'm definitely trying to cop. I don't know about the shoes, but I'm definitely gonna get at least a shirt or something. So I'm really proud of that though. Like, I'm really into that.
And I know you were talking about earlier, before we were recording once again, about going to LA and promoting your stuff. Where's your favorite city to kind of go to? Is it LA? Is it New York? Or
to be honest, I think my favorite place to go to, probably to Philly, man. When I'm not home in Atlanta, obviously, Atlanta's my home, but Philly, man, it's just something that's relaxing and I just feel free. Like, when I'm back there, man, I love it, man. I can't really put words on it. But I love Philly, man. When I get some free time, I always make sure I go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Speaking of Philly, Mad Ox, I know you talking about No Jumper earlier. How you feel about Mad Ox, man? You like him?
Man, you know what? The EP coming out in July. I'm really excited for it, man. Got 7 tracks hosted by Danny Wolf of Hood Rich, man. The Quick Trip video come out, I think next week, man. So, I'm looking forward to that, man.
Speaking of Danny Rich from Hood Rich, what was your first reaction, honest reaction, when McConan came out the closet, man?
When McConan came out, you know what, man? When McConan came out, you know, it made me think about my mixtape that's coming out in July.
July, man. EP Quick Trip video coming out a week before this one comes out. So
Hey, look, man, I had media training, bro. I had good media training. I had it.
is this a PR man right here, man? All right. So, well, let me see what the next question is gonna be now. All right. So Philly's your favorite spot. You don't really want to speak on Maddox. You really don't want to speak on the first time you found out McCona was gay. So, dang. Let's just get back to the music then. What were some of your inspirations? I know when I hear you, you probably get this all the time. I know, like, just people, artists, they get comparisons all the time when they hear some Kendrick. You know, Kendrick is someone I hear in you a lot. Well, what are some of your main inspirations on in music-wise?
Growing up, like I said earlier, I grew up on gospel music. And you know, my pops really wasn't in my life like that, but when he was around, he would put me on to, like, you know, gangster rap, Quick, Mac 10, Snoop, you know, really anybody from the West Coast, you know. And then later on, he put me on to people like Nas and AZ and Hove, and you know, I think growing up, even the Far Side, growing up, those were like my main influence because I wanted to sound like them. You know what I'm saying? They were the coolest people in my eyes. You know, then I started to pay attention to what was really going on. So, you know, early 2000s, like Pharrell, you know, Cameron, 50 Cent, a lot, man. And, you know, modernly, you know, I love Kendrick. I love what Kendrick is doing, man. He's showing the world how to do it and do it the right way. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there's a lot of rappers who want to do it, but they're just not doing it the right way. And Kendrick is doing that craft the right way. So, man, I really love what he's doing. And modernly, like I said, Nip, man, I really love Nip. Hove's new album is amazing. Vince Staples is amazing. Schoolboy Q is amazing. It's just a lot of people I'm forgetting, but you know, I guess modernly, you know, and back then, and those are my influences. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And you kind of give me like a vibe, a Chance vibe too, kind of with, you know, being strong in your faith, and then also, you know, I kind of want to build this thing up yourself. You know, when you look at a guy like Chance and how far he's made it, does that encourage you even more so when labels come to your email and all that, to want to stay independent and build this thing on your own?
Man, definitely, man. Especially as of recently, man, he's winning all these awards, man. He's striving right now, and he's really doing his thing. So, like the LeVar Ball thing, man, I don't think anybody could look at that and not feel inspired by it. You know what I'm saying? So, I really love what he's doing. Shout out to him, for real, for real.
At the end of the day, wait, hold on. Before we get to that, Cobb County, man. Cobb is doing it big, bro. Like, just what do you think? Where do you see Cobb going in about, I say, 5-10 years from now?
Cobb, man, I've been saying it for years, man. Cobb is definitely, you know, a great place to be for artists, and it's a lot of great artists, man. Like, everybody know me and Dalen is brothers, man, till I die. You know what I'm saying? Every project that I've ever had, you know, Dalen has been on, and it's gonna stay like that for the rest of my life. Other than Dalen, we got Draft Day Dion, C Rose, Lil Yachty came out of here, Gianni, Fofo Gianni. It's a lot of people, man, that's coming out of Cobb, and I feel like we do have a lot of talent, man. It's just all about timing, man. But I know that everybody has a place for the industry. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like everybody that's in Cobb has the potential to pop off. So, yeah.
My last question. At the end of the day, SwaVay wants his music to do what?
At the end of the day, man, SwaVay wants his music to really touch people and show people that, you know, first off, lyricism isn't dead, and, you know, it's okay to be cool and be smart. And I really just want my music to impact people and shine a light on something that hasn't, you know, been said before.
All right. As you see, it's raining out here. We got a little smurgy thing. I'm going to have all of SwaVay's music and all of his links, all that stuff where you can reach him. The EP going to be out probably like a week after this comes out. And the Quick Trip video, as I said earlier, is already going to be out for a week. I'm Rashad Milligan. This is SwaVay. Until next time.
Yeah, shout out to McConan and Maddox, too.